All right, good morning or good afternoon. So we are first going to plot the 2 points for each letter, then connect the 2 points associated with the same letter. Okay? So see how each of these points has each of these letters has 2 points? We're going to plot those. So I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger for us. Oopsies. All right. So our first point that we are going to plot is 0, 0, and 2, -6. So 0, 0 would be here, and 2, -6. 2 is on the x-axis. -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is on the y-axis. And where those two meet, I'm going to plot my point. Okay? So I'm going to just label this D, label this D, and because they're both on the D, we could connect them. Okay? The next one I'm going to plot is G. So G is at 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where those two meet is going to be my first G. Then we're going to do -1, 2, and +1, 2, 3, 4. And where those two meet is going to be my second G. And again, I'm just going to connect them. The lines aren't super straight. It's okay. I'm not that worried about it. Okay, for the third one, 2, -3. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. Those two meet right there. And -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the negative, and -3, 1, 2, 3. Where those two meet is right here. Okay? So now it says, notice how we can plot more than one line on the same graph. Perfect. We have 3 lines that are on the same exact graph. Not a big deal. Some of them are touching. Some of them are not touching anything. That's fine. So now we're going to take that same thing and we're going to plot 3 lines on one graph. Okay? So I need to zoom this back out a little bit. That way we can see the lines and the graphs. Okay? So let's first pick out our M and our B from each equation. Let's first pick out our M and our B from each equation. So in number 1, what is the M? 3/4. What's the B? -2. And the second one, what is our M? -2. And I'm going to put it over 1 because it's slope, and I'm going to have to graph it. And my B is +1. My M for number 3 is -5/2, and my B is -4. If you remember how to graph these, go ahead and start graphing. If you don't, follow along with me. So let's start with number 1. Number 1, I'm going to plot my 2 on the y-axis. B is always plotted on the y-axis. So I'm going to find 1, 2 on the y-axis. And then because it's a +3/4, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. Oopsies, that should only be 3. And write 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? I went up 1, 2, 3, and I went right 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is my point. Okay? So those are our 2 plots, our 2 points. And then if we wanted to, we could even draw a line through them. And it's not going to be perfect, and that is perfectly okay. Okay? And I'm going to call this 1. Make sure that you label. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Okay? Then we're going to look at the second line. We're going to plot positive 1 on the y-axis. And then because it's negative, we're going to go down 1, 2. And we always try to run right. 1, 2, and run right. Run 2, and run right. Okay? And again, I could, it's not going to be perfect. I don't have a ruler, but do the best I can. And I'm going to draw my line, and I'm going to label that line 2. I'm going to label that line 2. Okay? Next, I'm going to plot it at -4 first on the y-axis. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the negative. And it's a -5/2. Well, I can't do that. I can't go down and to the right. But I can do the opposite. I can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 1, 2. My line is still going the same way. And I'm going to label that line 3. Okay? So again, it's not necessarily that it's the easiest thing to look at, but we can do it. We can plot all these same lines on the same graph. So that's what we're going to look at today. So looking at the bottom part, this is where it starts the new thing, right? So it says 3 ways linear equations are related. So first, it's going to be intersects. And all of these are going to be talking about an intersection of some sort. Not intersects. Intersects, okay? In one point. The intersection represents the solution, right? We've talked about this before when we did number of solutions. Our options were 1 solution, no solution, or infinitely many. So if we're talking about 1 intersection, that literally means that I have a line here and a line here. See how they intersect right here? That is 1 solution. Okay? Now we're going to talk about when they intersect in all the points. That means that the graphs are the exact same. And that's coming back to that infinite. Remember that sideways 8 we talked about before? So that means that I have a line, and the second line is the exact same line. That's what that means. So you intersect that whole entire line. Now the third one is that they do not intersect at all. That means that the lines are parallel, and there is no solution. So that would be something like this. So when we were doing number of solutions, this would be, x equals 3, x equals something. This would be when we have the same exact thing on both sides. This would be when the number next to x is the exact same, right? That coefficient, but our constants are where it is different. Okay? So now we're going to actually get into plotting some of these and looking at them together.